So thank you, Tech Vancouver, for having me. When I used to come to these meetups when I was really early in VanHack, and I would think one day I'll maybe be talking at this. So for anyone here in the room that is just starting out, just keep going. Yeah, it's a little kind of cool thing. Anyway, so I'm going to talk about growing a global community and kind of how we scale the business. So for those of you who don't know, VanHack, we are one of the world's largest tech recruiting platform for talent that wants to relocate. So we help companies find developers that want to move to their cities. We have 163,000 members from 73 countries, focused mostly on senior developers that want to move to new cities. So yes, the third one was true. I've lived in all these countries, and just want to kind of talk about how my first memory in my life actually was moving from the USSR to Israel. So I've been an immigrant ever since I can remember. So kind of the do what you know, I think Murray said. And the last couple of years, I've been a digital nomad. I don't really live anywhere. I live on Airbnb, and kind of trying to grow a global community that way. But really, what I want to kind of take you guys back to is when it all started and how we went from humble beginnings to kind of modest success now. So this talk will be a lot about kind of the tactical ways of growing the community, mostly talking about like digital marketing and figuring out how to actually scale the company and the business. So anyway, it all started in 2014 when I moved back home to Vancouver, hence the name VanHack. I thought this would be just a side project to help a few people move. And as you can see by the Portuguese, if you don't know that's Portuguese, I was thinking just to help Brazilians move to Vancouver. I spent 4 years living in Brazil, where I was working in ed tech, met a lot of developers that were good at tech, but not so good at English. So we started actually teaching them English. And actually the first idea was actually a coding school. So we wanted to be like a lead gen for Code Core and for Lighthouse, and quickly realized that didn't work out. So listening to our customers. And then again, we evolved now into a recruiting company. So really in the beginning, we did a lot of things that don't scale. So this is a picture of our first meetup. And actually our CTO, Thiago, is right there in the middle. First time him and I met actually was at this meetup. And we really tried to do that, understanding who the customers were. A lot of conversations, a lot of coffees, a lot of talks, a lot of just connecting with the people and really understanding what their pain points were. And then once we figure that out, so I'll kind of assume that you found something that people want and kind of go, I won't talk about the customer discovery phase, I'll talk more about the growth phase now and give you some tips. So how do you grow the community? How do you actually go to that 160,000 members that we have, growing by about 1,000 a month? First thing is just guerrilla social media. We did a lot of Facebook ads and Facebook groups, blog posts, content. We did a lot of interviews on YouTube. I would just pick up my phone and interview someone and say, hey, how did you do this? Tell me your story. And it was really, really simple in the beginning. And we did a lot of webinars. We still do webinars. I'll talk about that later. But really the most important thing, and if you guys don't get anything out of my talk, just get this point. Your email. Email is the most underrated channel that exists right now. People kind of talk about all these different things, but email is the one you actually still own. You don't own the people who you don't know the contact information of the people who like your page on Facebook or follow you on Twitter, but you have the email of the person that's opted in. So the value of your business is very, very connected to the value of your email list. And if you can keep it personal, where it's not a corporation sending an email to someone and kind of have monthly update, boring thing, if it's more of a personal thing where you can be talking directly to someone, we found that's much better. And there's a really good course called Autoresponder Madness that you should check out, where if you sign up for it, he'll send you the emails, and that's the course. He'll teach you how to do it by doing it, kind of teaching you as it goes. So how do you actually scale the email list? First thing is, we're going to talk about Facebook ads into email lists. Something called the Typeform funnel is what I coined, and actually the person who told me about Typeforms in this room, so Slav, I don't know where you are, but thank you again for that. Anyway, if you can just quickly install a Facebook pixel on your, I'm guessing if you don't know what this is, check out the complete guide to Facebook ads by Rick Mulready, really good, and a really good, now Vancouver-based startup, well, from Italy, but was bought by Hootsuite, called Adespresso. Amazing for Facebook ads. They help you make like 60 versions of a Facebook ad and then quickly tell you which ones are the most effective, that you can put more money behind those. And it's really, really easy to use. So Hootsuite bought them, really good catch there. Anyway, first thing you want to do is create some really good content. So think about the biggest pains that your community or the people you're trying to serve are facing. So, and then create really good free content about that. So we created a kind of the top 7 skills that are in demand in the tech scene in different countries, and we put Facebook ads directly there without an email gate. We didn't ask people for their email. We actually just got them to read the blog post for free. Basically, we're giving out free content. And the analogy that maybe is a little bit crude, but it's kind of like dating. You know, when you start meeting someone, you don't go up to them and say, hey, let's like make out or whatever. You say, let's buy a drink. So this is kind of that, and yeah. I didn't make up this. I heard this on a podcast, but I think it's funny. So yeah. Anyway, so if anyone knows anything about digital marketing, like 2.1% click-through rate and 2 cents per click, I have to say is pretty good, for Facebook ads. And yeah, so it's 2 cents. It only costs 2 cents to get someone to watch or read your content. That's really cheap. And then what you do is create even better piece of content, something called a lead magnet. So this is something where it's like an ebook or a video course or like some kind of email marketing course, some kind of really, really good content that's even better than the free content that you can give out. And there's a bunch of just Google the form lead magnet. There's so many blog posts about this. And so you create something even better. And then what you do is you retarget your ads to show your ads to people who've already read your blog post. So you've already bought the person a drink, and now you're going to want to ask them to dance, kind of thing, right? So you're only targeting people who already know and kind of got some value from you, right? So you give first. And so what that allowed us to do is have a 33% conversion rate on our email opt-in form, which we use Typeform, actually. So sorry, Unbounce. We used it in the beginning, but and we still use it now for other things. But Typeform has been really good for us. So you can see, like, we got 67,000 emails just from this one thing. This was actually over a year ago. Anyway, 33% of people who hit this page put in their name and email. So like that's not bad. Anyway, so what's the next thing you do? Use a really good tool called Zapier. If anyone here hasn't heard of Zapier, you should definitely check out Zapier, a remote team, very, very cool company that lets you connect to different softwares. So you connect, like, let's say, I don't know, well, Typeform to ActiveCampaign in our case, et cetera. And we use it all the time, pretty cheap and very good product. So yeah, then you connect that, and then you put them into your email list and put it into your autoresponder. So that's kind of the tactical part. But what I'll end here is just saying, like, in the early days, you are the software. So this is actually one of our first, our first hire we ever made. Justin works at a company called Faber Connect, really awesome startup here in Yaletown that is a marketplace for construction workers. And they hired Pedro, Gavin remembers, and I actually just made a Facebook message saying, like, three-way Facebook message, and then they met. And they actually just hired someone from us 2 weeks ago as well. And then we just kept making more connections. This was us in Techstars in Berlin. We brought 20 developers to Berlin, and they met some other companies and started working, 2 senior Java devs, meeting some entrepreneurs. And really what I want to leave with is, like, you are a media company. We even have someone who now is our kind of media person, Rick, right there, helping create content all the time, always sharing stories. And don't worry about making it professional. Like, you don't need that in the beginning. You can just have pictures from your iPhone or whatever, and you walk around with, we walked around Tech Vibes, TechFest, sorry, Rob Lewis, with our computer doing webinars and kind of showing people what it's like to work in the Vancouver tech scene, and they were, like, all over the world, and they want to be here, so we can brought them virtually to that. And we do that all the time. We've done it with Amazon, with Hootsuite, Shopify, and many other great Canadian companies. We also do a lot of events, so we did virtual hackathons. One thing I'm really proud of here is, you see that girl with the glasses in the picture there? She just got hired on Friday in a company in Calgary. Her name's Lais. She's awesome, and her dream was to live close to Lake Louise, and now she is, so that was really cool. Marcos there is working at Thalmic Labs. So yeah, a lot of kind of these virtual events are trying to bring the community together all the time. And then, yeah, we also do the hackathons, and we have some kind of interesting members. I thought this photo was funny. Someone brought a baby to their webinar. Anyway, the most important thing, though, is what I'm really proud of is kind of these moments when people's lives change, when they pack up their bags and move. Nino's working at AutoTrader right now. Andre's working in a company in Belgium, in Brussels, and you kind of can see the real impact you're making in people's lives. And so where are we trying to get this? What's the future of VanHack, or what's kind of the mission? We're trying to build a borderless world for tech talent. Someone mentioned a certain president earlier. I really think that that's kind of the way we're going, especially in tech. We're building a borderless world. We're in a borderless world, really. You can hire someone remotely. There's a new great visa that Canada has now, fast-track visa for tech talent, and many countries are starting to compete for talent. In the Netherlands, if you are a developer or immigrant, you get 8 years of 30% break on your taxes, things like that. So I really think that's kind of the way that things are going, because countries need talent, and governments are trying to realize that they need taxpayers as well. So with that, if you have any questions, just shoot me an email, or you can ask me right now. Thank you very much.
On this side of the, this is a really over here, questions? So I don't think one of the things that you spoke about is your background in sales, and I think that's really kind of bled into how you've started this company, but also how you've grown it, and the importance of that. Want to speak a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure.
Sorry, I just think without sales, you don't have a company. Right?
For sure, yeah. Sales solves problems. Mark Cuban said that. So for me, I guess sales is kind of a natural thing that I've just always done. I've been doing lemonade stands since I was 5, going to door and asking people to return their like unwanted bottles and pop cans for 5-cent candies, and just always been in sales. My dad, who's here actually, made me do cold calls when I was 16, which was a lot of fun. Anyway, the point is that I think the most important thing is just a lot of repetition and practice. And then one thing I'm trying to figure out now is processes. We actually just hired a new salesperson, started Monday, Stephanie. So trying to figure out how to like actually run the sales team in an organization that's repeatable. So that's been kind of the big challenge. And anyway, I don't know if that answered the question, but.
It's just that, like, even your entire marketing process that you set up, it's set up with a very sales kind of mind of how you convert those people over. And
yeah.
Marketing programs are set up to be thought leadership pieces or.
No, it's very much like data and yeah, exactly, just measuring the metrics.
Oh, perfect.
Hey,
Sean.
Great talk.
Thank you.
What I wanted to ask was actually more about kind of your experience meshing everything together between the development side, sales side, the business side, where that kind of played in with the company and your co-founders, because that's very much the position that I find myself in as well.
Yeah. So, good question. I guess our secret weapon really has been our own product, our own community. For example, like I think both Rick and Thiago, who are here, and many other members of our team were actually part of our community first, and then we brought them on board to help us grow, and they kind of helped complement and fill all those holes that we had. In terms of co-founders, so we started off with 4, and actually it's just me now, and that's a whole nother talk that I could give another time. We can talk about it offline over a beer. So that was really stressful. But I think the most important thing for us is that we just didn't complicate it. Like, I don't know, we are now really starting to invest more heavily into tech. Like we have 5 developers on our team and trying to figure out how to improve the tech side and kind of the AI matching, et cetera, et cetera. But really in the beginning, it was just an email list and a Google form. Like we sent an email saying, hey, if you want this job, fill out this Google form and attach your resume to it, and then I'll send that to a company. Like it was very manual in the beginning. And we're working now to automate those processes. But like I said, you are the software in the beginning. So if you figure out how to do it yourself and it's working and you don't have to invest that time and money into building a tech platform, it's better to have that MVP kind of validated to a point and then afterwards reduce the friction and improve the process with tech. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
Cool. Yeah, if we can talk more specific stuff. If you have another question.
Yeah, we'll chat.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Any other questions? Okay, perfect. Not perfect, but you know what I mean. Oh, never mind. Late bloomer.
Hey, Ilya. I just wanted to ask about the immigration scene in Canada and sort of that evolution, what it looks like right now, particularly in BC around BC, PNB, and what's downstream, how that's working out for you.
Yeah, we were funny. We were talking to speakers before the conversation. People were like, yeah, we got to post on Craigslist, etc. So I think like if you guys are hiring developers, and if it's through us or from any other source, you're totally doing yourself a disservice if you're not looking globally. Canada is probably one of the best countries. It definitely is one of the best countries in the world to live in. Vancouver is probably the best city, and so there's a lot of talent that wants to relocate here, as the 160,000 people who signed up to VanHack proves. And now with the new visa that came out called Global Talent Stream, which is made it like very, very fast to bring in talent. It's a lot less scary than you think. Of course, we'd love to help, but if you find someone who just applies on AngelList or directly to your career site, don't be scared to like, don't not consider that person. So yeah.
Great. Anyone looking to hire developers?
We have some customers here. Yeah.
With this guy. Like, I've heard from just people who have used your services. It's been great. So thank
Thanks.
you so much for speaking today. A round of applause for Ilya.
Thank you.